Hi guys, we are back again for another video. Now I am going to break down some specific segments in the Nene Leakes interview that she had with Carlos King. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about is Bravo and the lawsuits that they have had over the years. And I'm only speaking of two lawsuits within the last 2 years with two Black female reality stars. I mentioned in my last video that there was another reality star that had sued Bravo for discrimination, but I didn't want to go into it. I said I would create another video. So, from my understanding, and you guys can look this up, Bravo has been sued twice within the last 2 years by two reality stars. Okay. So, on July 11th, 2020, Married to Medicine star mariahuq launched a lawsuit against Bravo for discrimination and claims that the network refused to pay her royalties. mariahuq is not only, or was she not at this time, she was the leading lady on the reality series, but is also credited as the creator and executive producer on Bravo's website. But according to the lawsuit filed July 5th of 2021, the network acted illegally and unethically, which includes but not limited to breach of contract, breach of joint venture agreement, breach of the covenant of good faith and fair dealing, failure to prevent retaliation and harassment. Retaliation and harassment, guys, I'm going to say that again because you've heard that before. An unauthorized exploitation of Married to Medicine, the series. The lawsuit was filed as a result of defendants stealing mariahuq's creation, Married to Medicine, and not paying her royalties or giving her proper credit for spinoffs and treating her with discriminatory practices. So, this is what I want you guys to do. This is another reality star. Her name is mariahuq. Please go and look her up. She has made similar allegations to Nene Leakes. So my question is Bravo intentionally, because it couldn't be a mistake, allegedly creating these types of work environments for Black women? As we saw in the Nene Leakes interview with Carlos, Nene alleged that for season 1, they work for free. For season 2, they work for free. And season 3 is when they started to see money. That's a problem. So we have Black women working for free. And not only did you have them working for free, this lady is alleging similar acts of discrimination, which is the same thing Nene Leakes has complained about. So while everybody was jumping down Nene Leakes' throat, did you guys even know that someone else had already filed a similar lawsuit? Or did you attack her because of the color of her skin? Because if you had have done your homework, you would have known that there was already a lawsuit already filed by someone else. And she's alleging similar treatment.
Actually.
So there's a lot going on. There's been a lot of rumors, and I just want you to clear everything up about your status with the show, what's been happening, what's going on.
You know, my status is, listen, I'm in the middle of a pandemic like everybody else. I don't know. I think it's pretty clear that they haven't extended a contract to me and haven't asked me back for season 8. And for me, that's astonishing for a couple of reasons. One, because I feel like I'm a great addition. I'm an asset to the cast, always have been. I bring it every time I'm on camera. You know, it's just my personality. And I'm always authentically me. There's a lot of layers to my life, so it doesn't make sense. And two, I think with me creating this show and being an executive producer on the show, this just feels very personal. Like, why wouldn't they want me to be a part of what I created? So it just feels very personal, not getting a contract this season, and just my treatment overall over the years. It's been hard, Monica. It's been so hard. And I'm finally getting the courage to kind of really tell my story. And I am going to share my story.
I appreciate that. Now, a lot of people may not know, and many do know, you actually created that show.
Yeah, yeah. And the ironic thing is, this show, Married to Medicine, was picked up by other networks as well. We were picked up by TLC. We were shopping to every network in town. And I worked years on it. I had 2 different casts. You know, most of the women you see on the show, I casted them personally, even Evelyn. She was cast the first time around, but they didn't put her on the show. Purveyors of Pop didn't want her to be was picked up by other networks as well. We were picked up by TLC. We were shopping to every network in town. And I worked years on it. I had 2 different casts. You know, most of the women you see on the show, I casted them personally, even Evelyn. She was cast the first time around, but they didn't put her on the show. Purveyors of Pop didn't want her to be a part of the cast the first season. So yes, I created it, I casted it, you know, I kind of did the story arc for it. I partnered with Purveyors of Pop, Matt Anderson and Nate Green. We said we were going to come together and be this force and create this huge franchise, and we were going to blow everybody away by showing them a lifestyle that they hadn't seen in terms of, you know, a peek into the medical lives and what that entails in terms of the sacrifice. And from the beginning, I didn't get the memo, but they probably wanted to cut me out so they could steal my show. So it's heartbreaking.
So you guys heard it from Mariahuq's mouth, okay? Doesn't that seem or sound familiar? She was the creator of Married to Medicine. Then all of a sudden, she wasn't asked to come back. Now, this lady created the show, her idea, casted the show, and basically the show was stolen from her by Bravo and Mr. Andy Cohen. Because listen here, guys, Andy Cohen is one of the people, or probably the only one, that's making the decision over at Bravo. But we get to see Andy out selling his books and making a killing off the backs of these women. Same story, guys. Same story, just a different person. You heard Mariah in the interview. She said that it was something that had been going on, and basically she was tired of it. As I stated in my previous video, we all, especially us Black and minority people, we have experienced racism. Sometimes you just want to just do what you got to do and get out of there. And in her position, being the creator of the show, she just probably wanted to make her money and do what it is she needed to do. But then after they tried to steal the show, she had no recourse of action but to file her lawsuit. And guess what? Her suit was settled through mediation. So her suit was settled. But I want you guys to open your brains and start thinking. You know, people are attacking Nene Leakes, and it's just the culture of Black people. You guys do not know how to support each other. It's always attack, 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 attack. So let me go into Mariah's, a little bit into her lawsuit. It states during an interview, Mariah alleged, keep in mind, Mariah is Muslim. She may not look Muslim. Well, I don't know what a Muslim looks like, but she is Muslim, okay? She was told by producers that she couldn't wear her hijab during filming. And Mariah basically felt as if she was being treated with some kind of disparity because other counterparts, for instance, Lisa Vanderpump, I mean, she's doing quite well with the franchise. Mariah also noted she wasn't allowed to return for the show's 8th season, and she created the show. She believes the network would have never dreamed of this if she wasn't Black. People, we got to start supporting more. We got to start supporting more. Who are you as a Black person to attack another one to say that they have not been discriminated against? But you have proof that it apparently happened before. This happened before. This has not been the first time that Bravo, NBC, and Universal have been, I mean, people have said in the past that, it's some racist stuff going on, allegedly. Is Bravo and Andy Cohen discriminating against Black women? I need to know. So let's talk about Andrew Joseph Cohen. Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen is an American radio and television talk show host and producer and writer. Well, we know the television and talk show host is simply because of the Bravo franchise. I've never heard of him. They said he was on the radio. I've never heard of him before this show. Andy's net worth, guys, is $50,000. So he makes $10 million. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I said $50,000. Andy's net worth is $50 million. I got way too many notes that I'm looking at. So he is worth $50 million with a salary yearly of $10 million. And we all know where that comes from. So I'm just going to say it, and this is allegedly. It would be very advantageous for him to get rid of mariahuq, because guess what? She's the creator of the show. Guess what that's going to mean? More money in his pocket. This man right here, he is the leader of all the BS. The situation with Nene, it could have easily been resolved. Nene and Andy Cohen were supposedly friends. He turned his back on her at a time when her husband was dying of cancer. You know why? Because even with Nene gone, that's more money for him. Nene created the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She doesn't get any credit. The same thing he did to Nene is the same thing Andy Cohen did to mariahuq. Is he a racist? I don't know if he's a racist. Is it a possibility that he is probably treating the Black housewives different than he's treating the white ones? Absolutely. We watch those shows. We see what goes on. We see some of the trips that they go on. The Atlanta housewives are paying for their own photo shoots and all of this different stuff. But the other housewives, are they similar treatment? The way he treated Nene, in my opinion, was very reckless. He has one housewife that went to prison. She committed a crime, and I believe it's several of them. But one in particular, he let come back to the show after she got out of prison. But then you treated Miss Nene Leakes like trash, and it's unacceptable, Andy. I don't know. I can't tell you guys if he's a racist or not, but I could believe that he is definitely treating one group very much different than he's treating the other group. Nene Leakes. Nene Leakes started on The Real Housewives of Atlanta as an original cast member in 2008. We also know that Nene was raised by her aunt, who she called her mom. And then it was in 2021 that she lost her aunt. So Nene lost her aunt, the lady that she called mom, in 2021. She also buried her husband, Greg Leakes. And I want to say Greg passed in, was it 2022? Don't quote me on it. And then recently, her son, Brett suffered a severe illness. Brett was in the hospital. And then we know most recently her son, Bryson, was incarcerated for the D word. You guys know what I'm talking about. So what I want to say about Nene is prior to her leaving Bravo, I mean, she had been on that show since 2008. And, you know, just trying to take care of her husband. I don't know what it's like to take care of anybody with cancer, but I have heard that it is truly a task. Nene filmed. She was obviously working. We saw her storyline. And I think it's very sad that I hear a lot of people say, you know, her attitude. I really, really believe that it's race related. I believe that if she was any other color, that the situation would be different, because I don't know how a person is supposed to act when your husband is dying from cancer. Not only is your husband dying from cancer, you're dealing with women on a reality show who seem to not even care. I mean, they were not cutting her no slack at all. Not only was they not cutting her any slack, apparently the producers, the executive management, Andy Cohen, nobody cared. So my question is, if she had been any other color, would the situation have been different? We know from history that similar Black women have filed lawsuits against Bravo, claiming similar things. So Nene didn't pull this up out of the sky. This has to be something that someone else felt as well. And allegedly, it had to be true because that case has been closed and settled. So my question is to you all, why, when it comes to Black women and either their concerns for any type of treatment or anything that may be happening with Black women, why do we as a community have to be so brutal and so nasty how we react? I believe Nene deserved the benefit of the doubt. I mean, she is a human being. She's a human being. And she has dealt with a lot, and she has showed us her life on camera. Did Bravo, NBC, Universal, and Truly Entertainment, did these individuals discriminate against Nene? Did they all plot against her? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.